Welcome everyone to today's crypto and stocks TA live stream. Today is October 22nd, 2021, Friday. It's about 8:41 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's pretty late for some people around the world, but we're going to go ahead and do this stream. So we're starting off with crypto. Start off with the total crypto market cap index. All right. So if we're just looking at a blank chart, we just know the yellow line here, the current price, 2.52 trillion, is the resistance zone here. If we look very, very carefully, though, we can kind of form two scenarios in our mind. All right, my idea on TradingView is this, where we're in a daily ascending triangle pattern. The current total price is inside of the resistance zone. We just broke all-time highs 2 days ago. Pulling back now, this latest candle has closed. But to me, what's actually happening is, we turn this off, we zoom in, we're currently back testing this, where my gray line is right here, okay? So more specifically, we're back testing this blue line right here that goes across here, this horizontal resistance. Back testing meaning we're going to back test that as support in the following weeks. So if we're going to continue up in this bullish uptrend for Bitcoin, the price needs to do this. We are rallied up. Now we're pulling back. This needs to hold. 2.5 trillion is our line in the sand. 2.5 trillion down to 2.4 trillion in this blue circle right here. This needs to hold. If it doesn't hold, we might be in trouble for Bitcoin, right? So the bullish scenario would be rally, back test the support of 2.5 trillion and continue throughout November, December rally as such. That's the bullish scenario. The bearish scenario is we keep fading. If we lose this support here, 2.3, 2.4, 2.5 trillion, we lose that support, we're to try to retest the resistance. If it's a ceiling, then we're going straight down to probably 2.1 trillion to 2.0 trillion, this lower area. This would be an interesting spot of potential value. So in the bearish scenario, where I would be looking along would be like somewhere down here, 2 trillion, 1.7 trillion. If this turns into a large double top on Bitcoin like this, then we can measure it down. It should be about like 30 or 40% to the downside. So in a really, really worst case scenario, we will be going back down to support levels here. This is like a really, really bad case scenario down here. That'd be a great place to, load up, right? So this is a bearish case scenario if we reject down from the resistance and fade down for like 3 to 6 months. But if it's bullish, then, I would still long here if we're going to really get that bullish continuation off the support back test. All right, let's move on to Bitcoin. By the way, these ideas are all in my TradingView profile. I left it there on purpose, longer view, so people can understand what might happen here. All right, let's quickly just visually look at the other indexes. So total 2, so everything minus Bitcoin, still stuck at the resistance zone up here, right? So even here, you want to watch out because it could be a double top setting up with a pullback. The first support here, here, and here, like that, if we reject down. So you just want to be, I'm like in yellow light mode, is if we reject down, then we're probably going down here to 1.05, this blue line. Why? Because double top resistance pattern, price pattern, if you know your price patterns. If we reject down, that's negative 25% down. If we lose this support of 1.072 trillion, then it's another 25% down, probably 30% down, right? So you want to start to watch out for that kind of stuff. Breakouts are always tricky because if the breakout fails, then we're pulling back significantly. The breakout must continue with power. Okay, total 3, same idea. All right, I already drew that in blue several times. Okay, let's go to the Bitcoin market cap. So same kind of idea at this resistance zone up here. Support and there's an intermediate support in the middle. Okay, so it's visually kind of easier to see. Currently back testing all-time highs. When you have a V-shaped recovery not recovery, but V-shaped rejection like that, that's always a strong sign. That kind of reminds me of this, right? So potentially you just want to watch out for downward continuation over the next week. Hello, welcome to the live stream. If you have a ticker request, go ahead and put it in the chat box. Doing crypto and stocks. Usually start off with crypto though, because the candle body just closed about 45 minutes ago. Okay, now people are wondering, in the news, BITO, BITO, the Bitcoin Futures ETF, launched this past Tuesday in the USA stock market. And, last week's stream, I was saying we could get a potential sell the news event on that, and it kind of happened, right? So the BITO launched on on Tuesday, and then the options trading on that future started on a Wednesday, and then Thursday and Friday we're getting this fading down. Also, it's related to some sentiment and tweets and such like that, and the market's kind of fading down as well. If you have a request, could you specifically type the exact ticker name on TradingView, please? All right, so we have to look at the futures chart, okay, and then we'll look at BITO, the ETF, before we go to request. So you have to realize we're at this resistance zone here. You see that resistance? The immediate support is down here, like longer term. Immediate support down here, like that, and then way down here we have a support down here. So what are these levels? Like 64,000, 52,000, 40,000, $30,000 Bitcoin. Let me bring up some pivot high low so you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, that works. So now you can see the actual price numbers that I'm talking about. So this one right here, latest we hit 67,560. Let's pretend, okay, just because I know there's a lot of hype in the chat. I mean, not in the chat, but in the world right now about Bitcoin. Let's just pretend a bearish scenario first. Let's pretend this is our top, just like here. Because on a weekly, monthly, this is like a double top in a long term, right? So we just want to watch out for that. Let's pretend hypothetically that's our top. We Fibonacci this. Where will we go down to? We got 236. Right here, we have 382 levels, 50%, 618, 76, and 0.88. So our first level we need to watch out for is 60,000 even, and then 58.6K. This first blue line zone. Right? Because on a bearish scenario, on the futures chart, this doesn't make any sense though, but right? We could pull down all the way to 50,000 and still be in an uptrend. Maybe just above 51,000. Okay. So we just want to be aware of this repeat. Although in this blue circle, there was that Dogecoin crash and China minor ban news. That's why we crashed. So I just keep an eye out, one ear open, just for any potential news that could rock crypto. Although, we did get some bullish news recently in the past month, right? The USA, SEC, and Federal Reserve Chairman said Bitcoin is going to be legal in USA, and then the Bitcoin ETF launched, right? So this to me feels like a sell the news event, but is it over? No, it's not over. It was going to be short-term volatility, and then we're going to see, can we establish now a higher low? Okay, so now I'm switching to a bullish view. Okay, the bearish view is just watch out for this circle, for this to happen, right, over time. The bullish view is the opposite, is if we created our higher high right here, our higher highs in the blue dots, right, we're going to pull back to create our higher low. So 51,000, if we start pulling back over time, and if this 236 and 382 does not hold, then we're pulling back all the way down to here like 50,000, 51,000. And that's probably where bulls are really going to try to defend, right, in this blue circle, because the natural stair pattern, like there, right? So if somebody missed this, I would not personally long right here in this moment in time. If you want deep value, wait for the deepest value price, just like this, right? So you try to catch somewhere here, 51, 52,000 Bitcoin and altcoins, presuming that we're not in a serious downtrend. All right. So also you could see a trend line right here in the blue. Connect those points to the trend line here. So now we're at the top of the trend line. This is just another way to look at it, right? We're at the top of the trend line up here in the use a different color in the yellow circle, right? So then the long entry, nice long entry, be at the support level down here. This is how we have no FOMO if you're gonna get ready for it. All right. Let's switch over to BITO really quick because this is right here. This is the new Bitcoin. I have to stress it's the futures ETF. Futures. Okay, futures ETF, just like US oil. All right. So look at this on a day chart. It looks like nothing on a day chart, but we've had 2 days of rally and then 2 days of pullback, right? So we have to go intraday. Excuse me. We have to go intraday for this to see the price. Look at H4, H1, 15 minute, 5 minute. I'm not going to look at a 1 minute. We could look at a 5 minute. Also look at a 15 minute if you want. So I just put this gray line. That's where the price started on my chart, about $41. So I'm just going to leave that there forever. This is where it started on my chart. So then we get some trend lines in here. Let's get the candle body closes like that. And then we get some candle body closes like that. Yes, it is a downward wedge pattern. Eventually, whenever this thing bottoms out, wherever it's going to bottom out, we could have a reversal breakout. But it's in a confirmed 15-minute downtrend right now. Okay. 15-minute downtrend. So wherever the bottom's going to be, maybe, so we had our first support level here, okay? Maybe here or even lower, right? I would actually, in a case like this, I would Fibonacci extension the downside. I would Fibonacci extension the downside, right? So the next level, support level down is 38.23. 38.23, 37.37, the 1618 to downside 36.29, like that. Because if we got double top right here, so if we lose the support on next week, this could keep fading down like that. Okay, in a 15-minute. Although it might not go that deep. Okay, because this is when I start to use some indicators. It might not go that deep because we had our first oversold bounce. Okay, we might have our second oversold bounce. It might poke right down into 38.25. Maybe at a worst case 37.42. And then probably bounce on BITO. Boom, 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 like that. Bounce back up to the current price. So personally, I'm not going to long this. I'm going to wait for it to get oversold a little bit more and then try to attack that. Try to take that trade as a long. Okay. So we just had to go through those very important, first couple ones there. And we can move on now. We did have some requests in the Discord. So I have to do that. Let's do that really fast. We had one request from I think a long-term member about Hex. So this is a Uniswap exchange coin, Hex. So this is the idea that I gave to this person, and we just need to watch. What I was saying is we were trying to hold the support above right here on these first 3 days above 27. And why I was saying I gave support levels is if we lose that support in the blue line, let me turn all this off. If we lost the support in the blue line, then we were going to go down to the supports down here. So it's like 25, 23, 22 area, right? Before we bounced up. So this is kind of tricky, Hex, right? So I hope this person survived that. But, it looks like we're trying to establish a higher low. That's what I was trying to just watch out for. Just watch out for downside first. We had a rally to resistance, pullback, but this could become a potential upside down head and shoulders. So the target would be, if this comes true, 28% to the upside, which is 42% here. If it fails, it's 28% to the downside, which is down to 28 cents down here, like that. Okay, but the good thing is trying to do a trend reversal. Still, though, be careful. Be careful. I would just draw my support and my resistance support like that. Now you're in a sideways channel. We were in a downtrend. Now it's consolidating with a potential reversal, right? There's upside down head and shoulders on the RSI, so I would watch this one. All right, just hope that person survived that one flash crash on that day to the 50% retrace. Okay, next we have our next request. We had a pound yen. I'm going to use the forex.com chart. Wow, right off the bat, we have a 4-hour head and shoulders staring me in the face right here. Okay, this was a lot of setup on Thursday, Friday. The market got shorted down because there's technical patterns, bearish patterns like this. You have a head and shoulders, boom, like that. Left shoulder head, right shoulder, neckline, 0.9% to downside, which is about 155.37. That's a downside target if we ever make it there. We don't always have to. But if that happens, we could do another 1% down for the second target if we go real bear from the neckline breakout. So we had this first target, and the second target down would be 153.85. All right, so those are two bearish downside targets. So another way to look at this is the trend line got lost. This immediate trend line, this very sharp one got lost. So that's our yellow flag, okay? But the fact that we're at this trend line support right here, just below it, okay, some shorts, conservative shorts will probably give up right here and close their position, right? See, because we're oversold on the 5 minutes, 15 minutes. So just kind of watch out for that, right? Sometimes head and shoulders doesn't crash all the way down to nothing, but that was a quick setup. On the day chart, yeah, we did get a little bit overbought here on RSI, a little too, almost like Bitcoin. So interesting that pound yen, this chart looks like almost like Bitcoin. It's kind of scary, the correlation. But moving in, even closer on our H1, we are a little bit oversold on our H1, still in a daily downtrend. Oops, still on a daily downtrend on Forex. This pair, I mean. So we scouted the lower low. Now there might be a lower high bounce, probably up to like 156.70, just because these shorts and the algos might let go of their position here. Possible. Also a weekend less liquidity, right? Yeah, because you can see here there is some kind of support level there. So some bots would let go of their position there. So I would just watch out for that. I'm not looking at 1 minute, 5 minute on this. I'm looking at 15 minute, 1 hour for people. And looks like it found a support level, it might bounce up. All right, so now we can get to requests. Somebody's saying, okay. You've got to give me a little bit more. Oh, you're talking about Bitcoin. If you're talking about best entry for Bitcoin, I already mentioned that. All right, let's move on here. I'm gonna try to go rapid fire. I'll just give support resistance trend review. All right, I'll just try to go like a couple minutes each. Now we begin. We're going to start on a daily. So Ethereum USDT, again, we hit this resistance zone and pulling back. So same deal here. You can see this triangle playing out, the ascending triangle on the daily. Top side, this is our bottom side. Okay, so if someone is a very, very, very patient long, very, very patient discipline, if you want no FOMO, I would be looking for entry down here in the blue line. That's why I'm underlying it. Somewhere in the lower 3000s, because if this just pulls back, right, it's tightening inside the triangle, just textbook style like that. So if you buy down here, possibly, it's not financial advice, but educational, somewhere down in the 3300s range, right, you might get a better entry than trying to long here at the top. And then if it pulls back down, you're down negative 13% on your entire position. So we don't want that to happen. But this is a daily chart, so it's kind of not the full information. There's still plenty of room for downside pullback, but we're holding this trend line support right here. Okay, so the intraday traders are looking at this line. As a swing trader investor, I'm looking at this bottom side. I want much more deeper value than a relative short-term support, right? So again, it's oversold right just above this intermediate trend line and the downtrend, boom, 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 like that. So we did hit our lower low. It's scouting the lower high right now on Ethereum. But for me though, because I'm a much more of a swing trader, I'm looking at this one down here, 3,300 for long. Okay, XEC USDT. Thank you for actually typing the ticker symbol. Okay, I'm gonna use a different. I'm gonna use Huobi because it actually has Binance only has this data. So please make sure it's just a quick advice here to really make sure you check all the charts first before you start analyzing. Because if you only analyze this part, we don't know any support levels on the left side, right? So just what I would do is I use Huobi. Let's pick Huobi. First thing I'm going to do is the uptrend is lost. Upstairs stair pattern lost. We try to have a double bottom support bounce. We did basically get the first target and fading back down to support right now. So support is and was 1924. We just lost that level. We just tested it right here. We had one test of the support trying to survive that. You see this? It's 1, 2, 3, 4 touch points, maybe even if you count the left side. So this is a very battleground for this particular crypto. It's in a descending triangle pattern. I would beware of this coin a little bit because once you start losing supports like that, I mean, we could even get tighter up there with the candle body closes, but there's just so many wicks. We'll use the wicks for this one. So I'm going to use the wicks for this analysis, candle body wicks. Right here, you see so many wicks, and we're just at the bottom of that support. So in a bearish scenario, this thing could crash down negative 50%. Okay, because you can measure the move. It's negative 50 up to negative. It might not do 122% to downside, but negative 90% to downside, which would be catastrophic for this coin. It would go but all the way back to the lowest price, right? So want to watch out for that. What I would do for the intermediate is I would Fibonacci this, and you see we're stuck right at the 50% retrace zone, right under this name. It's the green. You can't see it. And it's downtrending right now. But what I would watch out for is crypto never goes to zero unless there's some huge problem. So we just hit the 4-hour oversold and bounced off of it the past couple of hours. All right. But we're still in the 4-hour downtrend. I hope people realize that. Okay. We got a 4-hour death cross. All right. So please be aware of that. For our death cross, our hourly has been death crossed since October 3rd. Okay. So this bears are fully in control here. This is such a very low volume liquidity coin. So I would beware. Be very careful with this coin. Right. You're in a downtrend on multiple time frames. On a daily, you might lose that support. Once you lose the support, I'm expecting heavy flush down, selling. Right, but if somebody's trying to be a bull long on this, I would wait for a little bit more confirmation because yes, there is something building here on the MACD histogram down here, but it could take like another 2 weeks for this thing to play out. Meanwhile, this thing might crash down into 618. So I will be looking at, if someone's like a longer term trader, maybe 1458, 10,000, or what was that? Yeah, 10,000, or even way lower than that, 6,000, right? Because the much longer term view of this is weekly is scouting its lower low. Because if Bitcoin pulls back, this thing is definitely probably pulling back, like 80% chance this thing's going to pull back. It's just, I know people are interested in kind of the oversold conditions. It's just, maybe don't put your full position in at one time. Like maybe I don't really like dollar cost averaging on super small coins like this, but just try to wait for the lowest price you can on the chart. And usually you could sense it on the chart is when there's extreme red and sentiment online is like people give up and they hate this coin, they hate the market, they walk away from the computer, close the computer. That's kind of when it's bottomed out psychologically. So Bitcoin is not bottomed out. You know what I mean? All right. Binance coin. Okay, Binance coin, here's an interesting scenario is there are a bunch of upside down head and shoulder patterns on like, I don't know, 15 coins or something since we found last stream, right? But if it's going to back test the support, which it already did here on this one candle, if it's going to back test, then there's still potential upside. So bullish target is still 32% to the upside, $591. but you need a very large stop loss. If it fails, okay, because now we're back testing the trend line support right here. We could have that in a bullish case. But if this thing fails and we have a head and shoulders right here, which could happen on a H4, H1, this thing might pull back. I'm looking down at 400 and 350 for additional long entries on Binance Coin. So I'm giving you two scenarios right now. If this thing is going to continue its uptrend, then great. Target's 596. I might put on some risk if I start to see some upward momentum. But if Bitcoin starts crashing, I am not longing here. I'm waiting. 400, I'm waiting. 337. Then I'm going to buy down here. All right, Cardano. Still in its sideways triangle. I see EPS. Thank you. We'll get that one. I know there's so many lines here, but if you just look at the price action, okay. We had our top at 310 and then our bottom support at 191. It's downtrending. It's consolidating to the side right now. So our target on ADA is like plus or minus 15%. So downside negative 15% is a 181 target. That's actually our 618 zone. So this is going to be a very interesting battleground down here at 181. If it doesn't go down there, I'm giving a much longer term target for swing trading, 250 here at the top. Okay, so 250 bullish, 250 bearish. And let's just check the inward momentum. Cardano's been kind of not correlated with Bitcoin, so I'll just kind of watch out for that. Although there is this huge MACD, right? So it could still break bull. The fact that we're holding 50% retrace, and this is still here. So I'm not going to quite call that it's over on our, Cardano just yet. I'll watch the support and resistance very closely for a breakout either side, and then try to take a trade if I was going to trade that. Okay, we're at EPS USDT. Let me check two charts before I jump in here. Which one has more data? Okay, I like the Poloniex chart. I mean the Binance chart. I like the Binance chart better. All right. So EPS USDT is correlated with the Bitcoin because just I know Bitcoin charts. So in May, we're crashing on Bitcoin. We bottomed out here. The reversal in Bitcoin, the September 7th crash, and then another leg up. But this is a very weak bounce. So this is a very low liquidity coin, altcoin, and I'll be careful of this kind of stuff. Right? I know it's a penny coin and it's great, but at the same time, just be careful. Because I'm saying downside risk, when coins crash, they really crash when they're low liquidity coins. This is how I do it. First, we get our resistance support. Resistance right here at $2. Our support at 42, no, what is this? 45 cents. This is that lower wick, this 41 cents thing down here. The lower candle body wick. So you can kind of see we're in like a consolidation pattern almost. The longer term trend lines on the candle body closes. Interesting. This suspicious. It just broke out at that side. Okay, I'm not saying we're going to go crazy up here, but it's just all right. Because if it was bear, it should have went like that. But it could still do that. So I'll start the bearish scenario. Set our lower high and pull back down to 34 cents. If that doesn't happen, our bullish scenario would bring us back up to the top of the trend line. I mean, support. Excuse me, let me start over. Our bullish scenario would bounce us up to our resistance line up here at $1. Right? So the two targets are like here. Now, I'll watch Bitcoin. Yes, we had MACD momentum, and then we had a 30 upside down head and shoulders, and that's back testing this right shoulder on the RSI. Okay. Yeah, right. So this 200 EMA could be our top side target. Let me go inside on this price. We see what's going on here. A little choppy. You had a golden cross, death cross, trying to make a golden cross again. So it's mixed right now on the intraday. You're gonna have to. Oh, this looks like you have to wait for this coin. You're gonna have to wait for it. You have a breakout, right? So if somebody's trying to long it, you have to understand your risk. The risk is very large because if you lose this, you lose. You know, if it crashes down, it's negative 25% downside risk. So please, maybe do not put all your money in this coin, right? Because it's such a small, low liquidity, low volume coin that if it crashes, you're probably going to lose a significant amount of money. It's not financial advice, it's educational example in real time, right? Because our target to downside is negative 50%. Nobody wants to lose that much money. But the fact that it created a higher low is, all right, it's mixed right now. It's like a coin flip right now. Maybe like 51, 55% to the bullish side. But if Bitcoin's going to crash, I'm expecting this thing to pull back down. All right, next, SXP. Is this a stock on the TSX exchange? Please confirm. Or is it SXP USDT? So I'm going to wait for that. Go ahead and tell me, is this a crypto or is this a stock? Great. While I'm waiting for that response, I'm streaming live on TradingView, YouTube, and Twitch. I have a free Discord group where I give a weekly watch list just for the S&P 500 Bitcoin with my thoughts about that. Crypto, okay, thank you. So I'm gonna check all the charts. That's what I like to do. Make sure you get one with good data on a good exchange. KuCoin has some pretty good data. Okay, I'm gonna use the KuCoin chart because it has a little more data. You see this on the left side. The chart's similar enough that I need that data because it's very, very important for support levels. It's similar to the Binance chart, so it's okay. All right. So again, swipe. We can see here that it's just simple support and resistance. This one is slightly different than the other charts that we're looking at. Very interesting coin chart. We have a nice trend line here on the bottom. So at least Swipe has this going for it, a defined kind of trend line in the area. I would also put this in the resistance zone like that. So this is very correlated with Bitcoin. Very correlated. It looks almost the same. You have the run up in crypto in this year, the topping out of Bitcoin in May, crashing down in May. This part of the chart looks exactly the same as Bitcoin. So very highly correlated with Bitcoin. Pullback, except this thing is like not bouncing nicely. So Swipe having some issues. It's probably related to liquidity again, because in the USA, I don't know if you guys know this, in USA, for Binance USA and Coinbase USA, there's only like 50, 60, 70 coins, right? That American people are trading. So if you're on an international exchange, Americans are not trading those other, 400 or 500 coins on those exchanges. That's why my list is a very USA based list. I'm only looking at 60 altcoins, 50, 60 altcoins. So Swipe is not on my list because I can't trade as an American. So just letting you know that there is a difference in liquidity and how much money and market cap there are in certain coins. So just putting that out there. Well, I would say this is not financial advice. Okay, this is not financial advice. This is only educational. Always want to look at your downside risk. Is that first off, I would recommend to try not to fall in love with any particular asset, right? Because you want to try to remain neutral. If we fall in love with a coin, that means we have a bias. If you have a bias on something, your mind is already not objective about it, right? And yeah, so if you're basing it off fundamentals, that's fine. But for me on technicals, okay, I'm a technical analyst, right? Is that this thing is in an ascending triangle. So that's all I'm going to say. All right, it's an ascending triangle pattern, very highly correlated with Bitcoin, near a support level. It's in a downtrend right now, trying to make a higher low on this. So support levels I would watch out for is like $1.71, $1.80 tool. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. Support level and then resistance level on the on the top side, right? So you just want to watch out for this coin. Okay, just watch out for this coin because if we pull back down, if Bitcoin does not go up, this thing is gonna pull down to $1.50, right? So if somebody goes right here long right now, there's 25% risk to the downside right now. 10 to negative 25%, maybe 40% downside. So I would watch Bitcoin closely. Okay. Um, this is like the pattern on every single coin right now, almost every single coin. Like 50% of the market right now is this downtrend to the bounce and now consolidation. Why is it like this? Because psychologically, Bitcoin is like right here right now. So everyone's waiting to see, experienced traders are waiting to see, like, hey, are we going to reject down from this? If we are, then a lot of altcoins are going to feel pain in the next month. Also, keep in mind we have stock earnings. This is going to be the biggest week of stock earnings the next 7 days. We have Apple, Amazon, Google, not in that order, but in Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. This is heavy tech week. It's a big week for tech. So Bitcoin is a financial technology asset. So please be aware of that. But I'll give you two scenarios though before I walk away from this, before I move on from this. So this thing, yes, it does have nice moves, but what you want to watch out for is, will this thing hold the support? Let me get rid of this. Will this price hold here and bounce up? If it does, great. Then someone can long that like this, right? Somebody can long that. If it does not hold, this thing is in big trouble. But it's an ascending triangle. So all I'm going to stare at on this chart is $2. Just watch $2, $2.20 for support. Okay. VChain. VChain USDT. All right, so VChain, okay, you don't need to look at that green box, but what I'm saying on VChain is this. We had an upside down head and shoulder set up on the stream last time on the price. Boom, like this. 32% upside target. 32% would bring us to that resistance zone of 1536 right here. So a lot of altcoins with the upside down head and shoulders pattern. So if that's true, then there's just the easy, what is this? Longer term, 20% risk. That's why I drew the box. I drew this box as an example last time because I said if somebody wants to enter in on the stream 7 days ago, you put something like a 5% risk to downside and you try to get your 20% or 10 to 20% risk to the upside. And that exactly happened. So, we back tested that and we went to the upside. All right. But the fact that we're having doji candles, shooting star candles is on the intraday, we're losing a little bit of momentum on VChain. So I'll watch out for that. We had a double top on our 4 hour. That's how I knew we're coming down yesterday. H1, losing a little bit of that momentum up here. I'm talking about this price, losing that power, pulling back. 15 minutes, hit that oversold. So we just kind of want to watch out for this. There's not much support right here on the left side. It's in this range right here. So if you're an intraday trader, it's consolidating with a potential head and shoulders pattern on the intraday. Watch out for that. Watch out for that. 1 second. All right. So if bearish scenario, 6%, this thing might be in a bearish scenario. We could crash down 6% VChain to 1187. 1187. But knowing crypto, if this, bulls don't like to give up that easy. So if this thing's going to get stuck here and bounce up, you might just bounce up to 1341. Still a decent, if someone's trying to day trade this, a couple percent scalp on that. Someone's trying to do futures or whatever. Leverage, right? 3%. But I like to do swing trading. I like to focus on the larger term targets. So my target's still up here on bullish, 1529. But we had double top. So last time I had a double top, just look left. It happened exactly right here at the arrow. So a double top, it pulled back down, consolidated, pop up, and pull back down. So we could have that happen again on VChain. The price can just go sideways like this for a while, maybe pop up and pull back down. So you want to watch out for that. All right. I'm not going to do more than like 5 requests. You know what I mean? It's a free stream, so I'll move on here. I'm going to end soon, like 20 minutes. All right. So I'm going to move on to stocks. Okay. We got to move on to stocks. So stocks, why did this move up? All right, so we had our upside down head and shoulders. And again, I have all my ideas in my profile. You want to check those out? I got longer term ideas so people can stay objective in their mind, okay, and stay calibrated. You get hype up in this market, right? You start getting all emotional, right? You lose your process. That's never good. You lose money that way. So, uh, I called this upside down head and shoulders on the stream many times in the past 2 weeks, saying this is our bullish target, like this, okay? It's only usually like one request per person. So, we hit our 3% target to the upside. Now we're starting to see some doji candle, and we hit our all-time high. So tech earnings on stocks is happening in a couple of days from now, next week. So I would watch very carefully for potential downside risk. The only thing that's going to keep us alive is we have phenomenal tech earnings in Google, Apple, Amazon, and other hundreds of companies that's going to keep this back test alive, and we keep the bullish momentum up. But I was saying in my Discord this week, we had an intraday pullback right here, is what I'm saying. We had an intraday pullback of the back test right here. But I'm saying longer term is watch out for this potential double top here, just like Bitcoin. So you want to watch out for stocks of crypto. We're in a yellow light zone right now. I would be cautious right now. I'm not saying don't get scared, don't run away, don't look away, but be cautious, because if you realize Bitcoin sometimes is correlated with stock market. So if the stock market has whatever bad earnings for whatever reason, and we start pulling back, okay, Bitcoin is going to start to have volatility. It might not copy it exactly. Bitcoin might go up while stocks come down, or both might come down, right? If we lose momentum on stocks and crypto, it might come down, right? So watch out for that. Stocks, if you're holding stocks right now, just be careful of this pullback. Much more experienced traders I'm seeing on TradingView, right? They're looking long term. Yes, I do agree. We might have the double top here. Be careful of that. And we could definitely pull back to 4418. Anywhere here, anywhere in the zone. 4427, 4470. We're at overbought levels, losing momentum on a daily, on a 4H4, on our H1, losing power. So we might see like one pullback on Monday. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a pullback on Monday, and then earnings begins. Let's look at Dow Jones. We got to talk about this stuff, because you have to realize that Bitcoin, crypto is not the only asset in the world. It's just, I know a lot of people internationally trade crypto and Forex only, but in the US, like, stocks are huge. Stocks are huge. There's a lot more liquidity in stocks than Bitcoin. Less fees too. But you're fighting heavyweight champions of the world, Wall Street. That's the problem. All right, so Dow Jones, similar problem or similar setup. We had a upside down head and shoulders breakout. Boom, very nice. Measured move, 1.47%. We hit that 2 times the target at the resistance zone. This is kind of sloppy chart, but resistance zone at the blue line up here. We hit my circle target that I put like 2 weeks ago exactly. Okay, so TA worked if you know what you're doing. So now that we hit our target, it's not completely overbought, but we have one notch on MACD, loss of momentum. Okay, our H4 losing momentum, H1 losing momentum, but possibly continuation, setting up. All of this is support down here, 34.9, 35K in this blue circle zone. I'll watch out for that. We haven't had a pullback in a while, so I could see us pulling back all the way down to 35 before an attempted bounce. So if someone's trying to long here, be very, very careful. It's not a relative low spotted value. The relative spotted value where I went long on stocks was right here, because I knew this is support level. Longs, support's your best friend. Okay, I'm not afraid of this, right? And I sold my stuff like 2 days ago. My swing trade. I bought here, bought stocks down here. I sold stocks up here, made money this week. That's trading. Disciplined trading. No FOMO. No FOMO. Okay. People coming into the market and look at this right now and be like, oh, I want to jump in this. It's like, that's FOMO, because you're probably going to pull back. There's a greater than 50% chance we're going to pull back on someday. Unless earnings is phenomenal, we blow out through the top of the roof. All right, NASDAQ. This is the big one we need to concentrate on for a couple minutes here before we get to some other requests. Let me do QQQ. Actually, both of these are kind of dirty. I'll just erase this one, IXIC. Okie dokie. So the problem with IXIC is if you know trend, longer term trend is this could be our lower high set in the price, right? So this is our like psychological resistance type of deal. There is a evening star bearish candle pattern right here, so we'll watch out for that, right? How do I know this? Just from experience. From experience, we're seeking our lower high in the weekly. We had upside down head shoulders, very nice pattern, boom, up, and hit that almost 2% double the target. What I'll be watching out for are there hidden trend lines. Yes, there are. See, another support breakup. Now this is our pivot point as well. So we could pull back down to our EMAs at 14.7K. 14.7K. All right, I want to watch out for that. We got tech earnings. So again, Google, Amazon, Apple is the biggest tech earnings of the month. Okie dokie. We are, it's not completely oversold. We're in a 1 hour up cross. Okay, that's fine. So we want to pull back down to 14.8K on stocks. Nice hourly uptrend. We're starting to downtrend a little bit, so I'll be aware of that. Beware of that. All right. Let me do a request. We'll flip back. Can you let me know? Do you want Luna or do you want Theta? Theta. Could you pick one, please? I'll wait for it. Well, while I'm waiting for that response, let's take a quick look at gold. I know some people like to trade gold in here. So let's look at gold. Gold. Oh, my drawing's still up here. Theta, okay. So look at gold and Theta. All right, so we hit our target, our topside resistance target I drew like 2 weeks ago of the swing trade here. So the bottom was our support, okay? And so our bottom is support. Great. We downtrended right into that. Boom. How do I know that trend line was there? You draw the thing. Draw it. Put some manual sweat equity work in there. Boom. Hit the support. Bounced up to uptrend. Hit our resistance. Came back down for a 50% retrace. Rebounce. Retest of that. Now, the fact that we retested it twice is a little bit suspicious to me. Little bit suspicious to me because that would mean on an hourly, I know from experience, it's kind of like overbought, high purple RSI. Yep. Still in the uptrend. But the fact that it poked out and came back down is like, okay, that's a little bit of volatility there for you. But now you can draw intermediate trend lines like that and like this on the downside. It's trying. Gold trying to make an hourly uptrend. Okay, so this is not a great spot of value. Okay, where was a better spot of value? Right here on the 18th. Very low support. Right, so if somebody's trying to trade gold, this is an educational example. This is what you hunt for in the market. You only need a 0.5% stop loss, and you're good on that one, right? You need the stop loss though, based upon our candle body wicks to the left side, okay? And then somebody's up 2-3%. Someone's disciplined on that trade. You got to commit to it. Commit to the stop loss. Find a good spot to trade on the chart. Don't put on all your money, right? Risk management, position sizing. These are like the tools of trading. The discipline, and then commit to the plan. Commit to it, right? Meaning commit to the loss. If you're going to lose like a $50 or $500 or $5,000, whatever the downside risk is on your account, hopefully it's not $5,000, but $50 example, $100 example, is you commit to that and you put your take profit and your stop loss orders and you walk away. You know what I mean? There's no need to stare at your phone all day long. If you're able to put OCO orders, triple orders on your broker, meaning stop loss, entry, and take profit. Once you enter those on a 24 forex, you just walk away. I mean, you set your alerts and check it, but you don't need to look at a 1 minute like that. Right? It's not gonna help you. It'll just cause panic. All right, let's get to the request. Theta. We're finally here. Theta. Let me make sure I have a good chart for you. Just like to check. I think the Binance one is fine. I remember trading Theta back in the day. Yeah, that's fine. So theta is in a basically a bull flag, but it's kind of descending. The price though is in a potential upside down head and shoulders. This is potential. This is based on if Bitcoin breaks bull, goes up, there could be some serious upside potential on theta, but it's already up so high. But this is not a ridiculous price target. It's just back to the resistance ceiling level right here. It's not impossible for that to happen. But the more immediate pattern is this. The more immediate pattern, which I'm watching out for, is this. So right now, wherever we're going, I'm watching this right now. We have our resistance target on the top and then our support target on the bottom. So this yellow trend line is very key right here. This top part and this bottom part of the trend line. Okay, this is real TA. So we're tightening up here. Yes, there's a bullish pattern, but it needs to break bull. I'm not going to call it yet. I need to see price do that. I need to see price do this. Then we're in a bullish pattern and we have a target to the upside. Okay, so trying to go long here, it's risky to go long, although it could happen. The breakout could happen, but let's say if somebody tries to go long here, this is not financial advice, it's educational. Is the downside risk on this particular price cluster is negative 14% to downside, negative 15%. So I would be a little careful of this one. Is if you're going to do that, you have to understand that at a worst case scenario, you can lose 30%. Because if it breaks bear, if this thing fails and breaks bear, right, that's 30% to downside. So, you definitely need a stop loss with a smaller position on this one. I would probably just put a 10% stop loss, try to target 20% if you're a really aggressive breakout trader, I would do that. Maybe maximum 50% on like a small starter baby position just to get things going. But to me, I'm not going to long here because for me, no FOMO is right here because there's a definite setup on the chart saying, flashing to me in my face, that if I want to buy here, there's multiple support levels with the trend line, with the triangle breakout. You could long here or long down here, and then you wouldn't make money here. So someone would sell here as a day trader, as like a 2-day swing trader. But if we're looking at the longer term target, 50 to 100% upside on theta, it could be 30, it could be 80. So let's use that smaller target, like a 30%. If we're trying to target 30% from the breakout, that's like 812. That's another intermediate resistance. Okay, so that's how you get targets. Boom, right here. So it just needs to hold here and not fail. There's a double bottom. Okay. Also, I missed this part. There's an intermediate W right here, double bottom. So okay, 8% up. So it's trying to hit that target right now. So I would just watch for this kind of price action. If it keeps going up, then I would probably maybe take a little aggressive long on that, try to scalp that or swing trade that. But just understand that if the pattern fails, we're going way down to $4 again. Okay, so I would watch theta price very, very closely of 693 and 577 and 640. Those three ranges in the yellow like that. Okay, because if it's gonna break bull, it's got to do that. Okay, let's do Tesla. So Tesla just had earnings last Wednesday. And before I erase this stuff, let me just show what's going on here. Tesla in the uptrend. Okay, I know there's so many lines. We're going to break out to the top of all-time highs. Now, decent. I remember decent earnings report on Tesla. Very nice. But now we're in blue sky breakout territory, where it's the highest price Tesla has ever been right now. 90, I believe, right? After the coin split. After the stock split. So it's in an uptrend. It's really obvious in a daily uptrend. But when a daily uptrend has been this obvious, and when the whole world is saying like, "Oh, I'm so hyped up on Tesla right now," like, don't you know Tesla's going up? Well, that's where I start to get a little bit careful because this looks to be a little bit of maybe shorts closing, maybe shorts got trapped and this got pumped up into earnings. But when there's something so obvious like that, it should pull back down to test this 847.25. That could be a downside target for Tesla. Remember, blue sky breakout, I would use my trend Fibonacci's. We broke the 1618 with the two retrace, so that would be a good spot for a little pullback back down to 1618, although we tested that, right? So our bear target for Tesla is 857. Our bull target would be, let me pull up something. I'll just measure this move. Another 5% up, so like a 5% would bring us to like 961, somewhere in this area, the 2618. Okay, but if you look at a weekly though, be careful because this could turn into some kind of weekly double top on because we have tech earnings. I can Tesla's in the Nasdaq, so you want to watch out for that. As if this turns out to become a resistance zone, if it happens to be a resistance zone, we could get some serious pullback down. We could pull back all the way down like this and still be in a weekly uptrend. So just be careful on Tesla. Watch out here. Breakouts are always, see, I'm not singling you out, okay? It's just, I'm saying this happens a lot to like every trader in the whole world, is nobody wants to buy Tesla down here, right? This is the best spot of value, discount, right? Everyone wants to buy Tesla when it's up because on their phones and on the chart over here, it looks green. You're seeing a lot of green. And once it's really obvious, right, it's green. But if you want to make the most amount of profit on a trade, we shouldn't be always trying to buy breakouts, is what I'm saying. Every time, because if breakouts doesn't work 100% of the time, if you try to buy it here and it pulls back down negative 15%, that's terrible to happen to anybody, right? So just be careful of that. I remember it was like 1 or 2 months ago, we're talking about this Tesla uptrend, like here somewhere. At this first resistance zone, once we broke that, that's where you get the second, right? So what really needs to happen on Tesla price is we need a healthy pullback at some point, a retest of this resistance zone, healthy pullback above 871, and then continue the uptrend. It's fine. Tesla target, if it's going to hit 1,000, that's fine with me, right? But it's bad if something just goes straight up like that. The faster and higher it goes up, the more risk you have. It's like if you just throw a ball straight up into the sky, it's going to come straight back down. So you actually want to see this uptrend pattern in the market. So I'll be a little bit careful on Tesla. It's in the overbought zone, right? If you're just using RSI, it's like, man, this thing was staring us right in the face. March and May, double bottom, beautiful setup. And if anybody bought that, they're up 60% on their position right now. But again, it's no FOMO. So, for me, I would actually kind of look for, I might short Tesla. It depends on the earnings. I might short Tesla. It depends, right? Because we're in an overbought zone. The only times it hit 82 were at relative tops. So I'll be very careful on Tesla. A lot of buying hype. But if so it might pop up maybe all the way to 1,000, 950, 1,000, and then I'm expecting a pullback on Tesla. So I actually might short Tesla. Now, again, not financial advice, just educational, everybody. Okay, let's move on. What else we got? All right, I mean, we could go crazy here with the day trade. If you want to do a Trump SPAC stock, you want to do DWAC, it's absolute insanity. This week this month was so much volatility. This week had so much volatility. I was like, as a day trader, you like dream about this stuff. Yeah, I'm not going to do DWAC. I think because most people here are like kind of, I don't want to create FOMO, so I don't even want to look at DWAC unless somebody wants me to look at it. Let's Sol USDT. Okay, Sol. Solana. All right. So the big issue with Solana is I have to mention two things. I called the $200 top, $212 top here a long time ago, saying that we're going to go into a downtrend and then we end up consolidating. Okay. So just got to remind people of that. And we retested that. That's fine. Totally fine. Why did that happen? Because I called this target, this blue line. It hit our target yesterday. How did I know that? You do technical analysis. You get your trend. and your support and resistance levels, and I measure the move, 32%. 32% is where? Right there at the blue line, right exactly there. So that's how somebody I said could take a long in Solana. I think I said this. Did I say this? I usually say this, right? Somebody could have taken that and then they made money and now it's consolidating. This is a bearish candle though. Shooting star. You study your candles, shooting star. So what does that mean? We're kind of probably going to get a pullback to like 168. If you want more accurate numbers, then you could bring up your Fibonacci. I like Fibonacci tool. I'm going to Fibonacci. This might be a little too advanced for people, but I'm going to Fibonacci from here to here. Swing low to swing high. And now you can see exactly what happened. We hit the retrace. I might be looking back at the 236, 170. Okay, if it's going to be textbook pullback. If we go deep, I'm going to look for here 154 and then 140 as support levels. So I'm going to erase my target now. I'm looking at downside. Might not happen that fast, but see 4 hour, very, very clear sign that we're going to pull back. H1 is starting to get a pullback down. Here's where I would draw an intermediate trend line like that. Boom. See, now it's whenever you get that, it's a yellow flag sign to me. Happens all the time. Crypto and stocks on the H1 chart. You have this very clear, hit the top side, loss of that support. Now you're under. It might bounce and pull back down like that. Downtrend might happen this week. And then once it hits really, really low discount somewhere here relative, that's where I might initiate a long, somewhere in this position. 160, 150, upper 150s. Bots and algos are just programmed whenever a flash crashes, it's going to scoop it up. So literally the resistance support 200 and 191. You're just playing between those two levels right now. As you see here, it's very clear up. Here, it might be the start of a potential downtrend, or I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, if it happens one more time, then fine, great. But if it doesn't, it might, usually this happens, a test, fail, and then breakdown of support like that. So anywhere like 180s, this price cluster, I'm just going to grab it right in the middle. Somewhere around here, it might stop for a quick swing trade or scalp. But again, you have to watch your downside risk. It's 7% downside risk. It's only a one-to-one trade, right? So you just, for SOL, you just want to try to look for the lowest price possible if you're trying to long. That's how we have no FOMO. Crypto is kind of hard though because it's 24 hours. So you have to kind of just like estimate it based upon support levels. So I know there's support level 180, 187, 184, 174, 170, right? So I have all these targets. So now I know it's just going to ping pong bounce like that. Probably. Hope that helps you. Okay, next one. Do I look at VIX when trading? SPY and the S&P 500? Yes, I do. But I don't, it's not the 100% truth because VIX is based upon the S&P 500 options, the Chicago options. So, you know, it could give me some kind of hint, but it's not going to give, like, I don't buy based upon it. You know what I'm saying? If I want to trade the S&P 500, I just look at the S&P 500 because this was such an obvious upside down head and shoulders. It's like you could take a picture of this, and this is your textbook upside down head and shoulders bounce. You measure the 2.3%. It went up basically 1.5. The target is like, you know, it's risky because earnings, but you know, that's textbook setup. VIX, how I use the VIX though is I want to see some kind of pattern on the VIX, right? I just like, for instance, before the pandemic, this thing was huge support level down here for like 2 years like this. So I'm like, something might happen, right? This is a setup, not a buy setup, but this is like a technical setup. I still do this to this day as I try to do TA on anything that has charts. I even TA on like random stuff that has charts, right? It still works. Okay. This was that no FOMO position, right? Higher low and boom, pandemic happened, explosion up. But now what's happening is it's just stuck right here. is you see how many candle body wicks we have on the top side, and then how many, um, probably something like that, right? So the VIX, the volatility is in a downward sloping wedge, but you know, I want to see deep support down to like 14, and that gives me a support level on this side, right? So I'm combining support, resistance, trend. This is classical technical analysis if you actually studied. I could do it this fast because I do this every single day for many years. So, you know, very interesting spot, 1350. It's never gone below 13 and 12. So if it ever loses that, that would be very significant. 13 and 12. I also look at the DXY, the dollar currency index, and I told one guy when we talked about Elliott Wave on like 3 streams ago or something like that. This is the US dollar currency index. This has an effect as well. And I was saying, hey, we're around this resistance zone on the blue. Again, it's kind of like Bitcoin, right? And then we might pull back down to this lower trend line. Is exactly what happened. Exactly what happened, right? We're talking about baby Elliott wave, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're going to get an ABC correction. Exactly what happened to where our support trend line right here. It's not low, low, low price. It's just that's the first level. The second level is somewhere here. Somewhere like a 93.30, 93, 92.50, 92. I'm giving a lot of support levels. I would just watch out for this. Something suspicious happening here, right? You're getting this little bit of a triple bottom right here. So things are kind of setting up for a pullback. We're putting all this together. The VIX near a support line, the dollar currency finding a support line, support price, and the S&P at a relative high. We're putting all these clues together. Bitcoin also pulling back from resistance. We might pull back on the stock market. We also might pull back on Bitcoin a little bit, unless Bitcoin rally needs to start on Sunday afternoon, my time, the Asian session. That really needs to happen, or else you know, we might get like a little 1 day, 2 day pullback. So on DXY, I would just watch for 93.50 to downside and 94 to upside. Just play these two levels on DXY. I'll just watch those two. Thank you. Thank you. I hope this helps somebody. I know I go really fast, but it's because no, that's just how I am. But just a quick side note on the educational part, because people sometimes ask me a lot of questions on the stream, is that the reason why I could do this, like technical analysis, is because I study and practice a lot on my own free time. Yeah, I put in like hours every day on this. Look at stocks, crypto, forex, just anything I could practice on. I practice like an obsessed person. Um, you know, I tested all the tools here. I studied. I like, what does this thing do? What does this thing do? I became hungry for it. What is this time frame? What does this button do? What does this indicator do? All the public library, no, what is it? The built-ins. I tried all the built-ins, right? So I know which one I kind of like or makes sense to me and works. And I study like, what is RSI? What is MACD? But then if you're starting out and you only need to study one thing, or just what do you need to understand? It's the price. It's the price, right? For anything, any asset, what is technical analysis? It's the study of price and volume. Study of price and volume. So, you know, I know people like to jump. And TradingView is an incredible platform. I mean, I love TradingView. Don't get me wrong there. I love TradingView. The tools, the indicators, the watch list, the community, all these alerts and all the, you know, streams. I love it all. I love TradingView. But then when you're using the tools, is like, what are we staring at here? We're looking at the price. Okay? Look at the price. I'm not really looking at this number, 453.12, like that. I'm not even looking at that. I'm looking at the price, the green and red candles. I'm looking at this and analyzing this to give me an edge in the market. So all I'm trying to say is, you know, technical analysis is like you can study it and get better at it, but you have to practice and put in real effort into it, and not rely so much on like automatic indicators, right? Because one person could just look at this and be like, oh, nothing's happening at the RSI and like close the computer. There's more to it than that. Okay, question. What time frame do I use for intraday day trades? It depends on the asset. It depends on the asset. But very loosely, okay, if someone's an investor, I'll start from long to short. If someone's an investor, they're doing monthly, weekly, and day time frame. Somebody's a swing trader, medium trader time frame is day, 1 day, 4 hours, 1 hour. These are like, you know, if you do TEA and trading long enough, you'll just stumble upon this stuff. And if you're a day trader, 15-minute, 5-minute, 1 minute, although I don't like to stay on the 1 minute too long because 1 minute, it looks insane, right? It's mental, the 1 minute, right? Because if you're staring at a 1 minute, you have no context at all. I get nervous about other people's trades when they show me a chart that looks like this. I'm like, what are they looking at? You know what I mean? Looking at one candle does not matter on a 1 minute. This one particular candle in time, this doesn't matter to me as much. But if you zoom out a little bit in the longest time frame possible, right? Because on a 15-minute, it's just a red bar. On a 5-minute, it's still a red bar. So you want to be careful. Always be careful. You want to start zoomed out. That's why on my stream, I always start on a daily chart or even longer, and then just move around, right? But if you're starting out, just start on a 1 day. Don't start on a 1 minute if you're like brand new. Start on 1 day. Yeah, I've tried second prices, right? But I like for me, I try to capture more of the move. My style is very. I'm a swing trader, a longer style. Okay, so I don't really do scalping anymore that much. Why? Because if I know people use leverage, they do futures and options scalping. That's fine. That's their thing. It's not my thing though, because for me, I sold my coins on Bitcoin here at upper 60,000s, and I bought them 9,000, 10,000, 11,000. Okay, that's my style. I like capturing large amounts of moves. Okay, I don't like doing like 1% stuff, 1% profit. Like I don't do that anymore, right? I like big moves because that's what the game is, right? Okay. All right. So if you're brand new, you know, for this stream, you know, special stream today is Friday, weekend for everybody. We're gonna all relax, hopefully. Is, you know, just focus on the price. Try not to have so much emotions, right? Hype is not a strategy. I always say that. Hype, fear, greed, anxiety, those are not strategies. That's not TA. Technical analysis, the analysis of the price. Put in some manual effort. We put in some manual effort and try to find areas of value, patterns, price patterns, support levels, resistance levels, trend. Those are the classical foundations of technical analysis if you study. Right? So I'm giving like too much information. I know like people are not going to remember anything I'm saying, but you know, we're analyzing price. So, you know, there's even like, for instance, on Bitcoin, right? You just zoom out, even further than the, right here, just like this. We'll draw a long-term trend line. See? So you can even see this trend line was here for almost 2 years. And experienced traders knew I am longing here and I am longing here. Very simple. It doesn't have to be complicated. Does not have to be complicated. But it takes incredible discipline and emotional control and patience. Because really, is somebody going to wait 6 months straight to buy this? Like, who does that? Nobody does that anymore. But that's a longer term swing trader investor style. This is actually investing now. It's if you're waiting 6 months for something. I was waiting 6 months for this, and I got it. You know what I mean? On this side, because we had good news. El Salvador was legalizing Bitcoin. I was like, yeah. After Bitcoin, Dogecoin crash, and China minor bans, that was bearish. So I stayed out of the market. I have enough experience. Don't catch a falling knife. I've never. Or I'm not going to try to catch a falling knife. There's a pattern here. Boom. Oh yeah, support, bounce. I'm in. I'm long. Now stop loss. And then when it's El Salvador crash happened here, I stopped out into profit. Unfortunately, sorry if somebody didn't, uh, get profit on that move. It's kind of flash crash, unexpected. Although there were many signs saying we're going to have a problem right here. If you know what I'm talking about, if you know my streams. Then what did I say? We said we're going in a downtrend. I remember people very anxious on this day. It's understandable. We say we have a lower high bounce. Happened. Okay, we're going into a downtrend. Our double bottom support on the September 30 stream. I said there's two spots to go long. Somebody could long at this spot here, or if we go down here, there's two spots to long. And then if somebody's long this one, they're up like 40%. They would sell now. So trading and TA is all about, having an edge in the market, putting in some work. Like I put in work on my charts and my analysis, right? I'm not spending 10 seconds looking at a chart and then turning my computer off to go play games or whatever, right? I put in some work. I put in a couple hours at least, right? And then I go do something else. I learned that from Jerome Powell, the Federal Reserve Chairman. He said on a Saturday, he looks at global markets. So I learned that from him. So now I look at global. I try to look at everything on Saturdays too, because the market's closed. That's your day to do it, right? Oh yeah, question. Do I just do stock or options? I'm just a stock guy. I just do stocks and crypto. But I have a very, very I'm like a swing trader, investor, and I do day trade and scalp. It depends on the opportunity. And my Discord, all my social media profile stuff is in my links are in my profile. So you can follow me if you want to on TradingView. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Twitch. I have a free Discord. Although I don't, I don't put every single setup I have in my free Discord just because it's gonna create FOMO for some people. Like I don't. That's why I don't type every single trade I do in my Discord, because I know from experience it's gonna cause FOMO problems. So on the streams is usually where we try to find some levels of value or where we might be able to look to buy, right? So to close things out is for Bitcoin, if we're going to get a bear breakdown, I'm looking to maybe play the bounce off to like 52K. If it's really, really bad, 40K. If it's extremely bad, 30K, like 6 months from now. But the first immediate support is, there's all intraday support all up in here, like 56K. Even probably right now. If you go zoom into like a 5-minute, we just had that lower, it's doing it again. This is the pattern. Bitcoin loves this pattern. We played off the 60K bounce right here at 9 o'clock my time this morning. And just, again, this is the same thing. It happens all the time. You crash down, you consolidate either into a triangle or into a channel. So a pennant or flag or channel. So now for Bitcoin, there's only two levels to play off of. Very simple. 60,000 or 61,200. Those are the very clear levels on Bitcoin. Somebody could call this 5-minute BART pattern. Yep, I can see that. With the potential bounce up to like retest 62, maybe on the short-term intraday before fading back down again. That happens a lot because then this double top into a BART pattern, into a possible recovery. You might get a secondary BART pattern up here and then pull back down. But the thing is, technical analysis, this thing is measurable. So it's 1%. We're going to get a 1% move in Bitcoin in the next 24 hours. Just off the break of either one of these levels, right? You're going to break this resistance up or break down support. Very simple. It is trying to do a 5-minute uptrend. All right, see if that plays out. Immediate support 60.8K. Okay, well, I'm not going to comment on the Federal Reserve Chairman because they did fix their issues. This bear, it could be a bear flag, yeah. Yes, on a 1 hour. Although some people, it is flag, bear flag. So yes. But this is why I like to zoom out, because you have this, you start to see the 1 hours losing. So this are, if this is going to be our lower low, we might bounce it to our lower high, 62K, before maybe trying to retest it down again. But again, there's less liquidity on the weekend, so I want to watch out for that. Okay, I went a little bit over today. Does anybody have any last minute crypto requests or stock requests, like chart requests or last minute questions? I'll open it up. I only stream about once a week right now because we're doing earnings for the 3 to 4 more weeks. So I'm just going to stream once a week. Oh, my mic is really close. I'm just going to stream once a week on a Friday or Saturday or Sunday. But this week is a Friday. So does anybody have any last minute requests for any stock, any crypto, any question relating to technical analysis before I close it out? When do I stream? I usually stream in the PM time. I'm in the USA, so sometimes I'll stream at like 4:30 Eastern. But today I had to do some extra work, so I streamed at like 8 p.m. Eastern. I know in Europe it's like everybody's sleeping right now or something right now, right? So people in USA and Asia are up right now. Looks like nobody's requesting anything, so let's go ahead and just excuse me. Let's just look at okay, I know we can do. Let's just prepare. Let's mentally prepare for some stock earnings. So I know what's going to happen because we have Google, Apple, and Amazon, and maybe we'll end with those. All right. So Google, Apple, Amazon. All right, finally we got a request. Ha ha ha. Okay, Ethereum. All right, so I'll do Google, Apple, Amazon, and Ethereum. All I'm going to say, I'll try to do it like faster, is we have our trendline support to the downside, right? These are really, really big tech earning problems like this. Report. You could draw that trend line, or we could draw this trend line, but oh, I see. Okay. Okay. Well, that's great. So I'm a longer term trader. I'm not like a scalper anymore. I do day trade stocks still, but I take a longer term time view because most people, we're trying to make more than 1% or 2% profit a day. Like the average person probably needs to make 10 or 20% profit on their trades, 10%, and try to keep doing that over and over again. Because on crypto, if you just make 1%, you still have fees and slippage on the spread. All right, so it looks like Google right now establishing its lower high right here. Okay, so and we have earnings on, I think it's Tuesday. Rising wedge, not always. It'll become bearish if it needs to break. It needs to fall down out of here. But it looks like it could happen. If earnings is bad, I could definitely see this retest of that support right here at, what is this? 2,600. And if it breaks down significantly, this thing can crash back like way down here to like 2,500 range. That's why. So with these trend lines and these rising wedge types, it's the support level right here in this blue. If that does not hold, Google has an intermediate problem. And we can actually measure it like this magnitude. Okay, because if there was this little tiny type of little flag here, we can measure this. 3.79%. So if we really, in a really bearish scenario, it'll go down to like 25.50 target as support, and that's confirmed because we have support inflection point on the left side here, at least 2 touch points. That's right here. You can see it on the left side. Very nice. But the immediate support is probably going to be right with this X marks the spot, right on this blue dot. 2647. If Google has good earnings, then it's probably going to be 2863. It's going to bounce up to retest that. And if it has really good earnings, I mean, so the bullish scenario is we could do this, break to the upside, the two targets on the upside in the blue, 2900 to 2863. But the bearish targets to downside is the blue circle at 2642 or 2550. Okay. But the fact that it's already downward sloping is like that. Yes, gaps are very important as well, but for sake of time, I'm not, uh, finding every gap, but there's a gap down here. Okay, next one, Apple, AAPL. All right, so Apple. Here's an interesting example of another rising wedge pattern on the daily in Apple. And, all this for stocks, this support level is your best friend right here if you want to lower risk after it's established. I mean, I went long Apple like right here and I made money. I sold Apple, I believe I said somewhere right here, 150. I was out. On here, when we had this side, I put a stop loss. I'm like, when this thing is going down on this next side, because we have the breakout attempt, if this thing fails, I am out of here. We retested 150 again, and people are like, I'm still out of here, right? So, if you just open the price and you don't draw anything, you have this on the chart. So for someone starting out, this doesn't really make any sense, right? It's just the price and the volume. What you have to do for technical analysis, and you have to study this on practice on your own time, because all the charts are here on stocks. On Saturdays, the stock market does not move for stocks because it's closed. So that's your time to chart it, right? Put in a little bit of effort and save your chart, lock it in. So this is how I do it. I try to look at 1 year data minimum. Because of pandemic, I'm going to include that right here. This is the crash. All right, so I know what do we have? We have earnings on October 28th. We have resistance right at 157, resistance at 149, support levels 140, support level 134. That's probably the only intermediate ones I need for now. And then we have our trend lines. Boom, right here, trend line right here, trend line support. This is a classic technical analysis. Trend line resistance right there with the attempted breakout fail on the blue. Pull back down, upside down head and shoulders pattern off of this support line from here up to here, the resistance, right? So once you start getting your support resistance trend, you practice that every single time you're on the charts. And it's going to take you, if you're starting out, you have to really put some effort into it, try to find it, the proper spots. But intermediate trend, if we have bad earnings on Apple, maybe supply chain problems might have hurt sales, but their app store sales, might have increased. That might be the narration, the story they're going to put out earnings. But there could be a potential, if you were looking at bearish, this is not really a head and shoulders pattern, but there's just a resistance up here, resistance zone. So if that pulls back down, then we know the support trend line is 140 and 134 on Apple. Confirm that with other tools, right? On an RSI, you could also put a look. This is getting way too advanced, but you could also do that. But for a long, I'm not looking to long buy here because there's significant downside risk. For Apple, 7% downside risk, that's a lot. That's a lot of risk to downside. So I usually do not play earnings. I don't play into earnings. I play after earnings. Wait for the report one day and see how the market responds. That's the secret. That's the secret. Or wait for a couple of days to figure out, like, okay, what's really happening here, right? Because if you try to hold something into earnings, even all the pros know, don't hold into earnings because there's so many unknown factors. Or if there's some kind of event for Bitcoin and it's like you don't really know, it's like, why would I take on the risk into it? I'm going to sell, let the whatever catalyst happen, and then re-enter back in afterwards when there's a clear direction and momentum. And this is why the S&P 500 had a upside down head and shoulders. Apple is one of them. So I longed Apple right at the bottom right here for this one. And I sold Apple a little early, but it's fine. Right? Totally fine with me based upon my strategy. Boom, boom. I'm in, out. Swing trader. Make the money, you get out. That's swing trader. I just want to play this leg only. I knew in my mind, I'm going to play this leg only, and then I'm out. So if this is lower high, we can hit the lower low. But if it's not, we can still pull back to test the top of this upside down 100 shoulders neckline after earnings and retest the top of here. So our topside targets would be like 153, 157. That's what I'm watching out for. On Apple, Amazon. Amazon is a little bit different. Okay, so we have to know this consolidation, meaning sideways price action on a stock or crypto, means indecision and means not that much growth. To me, that's still bad. A clear trend, a clear uptrend in the price is something like this. Last year, 2020, when we're going up in the blue. Here, we're going sideways in the blue. Even though somebody could still trade this support level and sold it up here. It's totally possible. But still, what I'm saying is, after Jeff Bezos left the CEO position, that's when things start to really like, this is not so great. I think he announced it like somewhere here, if I'm not mistaken, right before the earnings. Okay, but this is still downward sloping like this. So it's in a short-term daily descending triangle heading into earnings. We're at a double bottom, that's fine. But we hit this resistance here, that's why I knew how to sell based upon technical analysis, swing trading criteria. So if this thing is going to bounce lower high, it's tightening. If we have bad earnings, this thing is going straight down to 3182. 3182. And if I draw a better trend line, you always want to draw real trend lines, not marker style, but draw a real trend line. Get some accurate numbers, as many touch points as possible. I'm going to allow it to penetrate up to the upside because the trend line should be here, but I know I'm just going to close it down on this particular case like that. Like that. Okay. So, or somebody could use, sometimes the parallel channel is nice, although this is not a perfect parallel channel, but somebody could, if they want to use the wicks, also draw this one. You could draw that one. This one actually makes more sense to me because you have this resistance, this failed breakout, this touching this middle heart line, the red line perfectly, and then you have this support. So this is probably the more correct tool to use in this situation. I'm sure that's what other people are using. So here we go. This W failed into the descending triangle. So I'm looking at the support level 3212. If that fails, we're going deep down here into 2875 like this. There might be a little bit of a battle right here. If this fails, boom, down. I'm not in one day, but like 3 to 6 months. Could consolidate because this thing has been consolidated for a long time, but you know, that's the setup on Amazon. I'll watch out for that because remember, Jeff Bezos is not the CEO of Amazon anymore. So it's a different company now. C-suite executive changes are a big deal. Okay, we have a Ethereum, USDT, Ethereum. Let me use a different chart so I can do a fresh drawing. Ethereum. So if we're looking at Ethereum for crypto, first you have to rewind and look at Bitcoin and the total market. But since you're starting out new to TA, let's just maybe take a quick glance at Bitcoin and then Ethereum. Because Bitcoin is the king still of crypto. So what I would do is this. So first thing, Bitcoin, I don't even care what the price is that much, 61,000, I already know that. But I want to clean it up. I'm going to look at a clean chart. We're looking at the price and volume for one whole year. Year to date, 2021 till right now. First things first, where's our resistance? Resistance right here. We have a ceiling in the price. Where's our big support long-term view? Down here. Why? We have so many touch points. Resistance, 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 resistance. Support, support, support. There is a halfway line here. So if you can even use a parallel channel, at least 2 touch points like that. So where's our halfway point? Right there, 46.5K. These three are the big levels if you're like an investor. We also have intermediate support. Now you see the thought process. Intermediate support, there's also one right here, because I'm looking at this particular zone. So I'm going to draw that on the chart support, and that matches. Look at how many touch points you have. Boom right here. Boom right here. Here as well. This is a big inflection flipping point. So that's a strong support level. There's also strong support level here. The top side of this inflection point matches this side. So we don't need to go crazy with it, but all I'm saying is we were in a downtrend half of this from like April, May, June into an uptrend reversal now. So now if the natural textbook thing to happen on Bitcoin is a pullback of some sort. First things first to like 60,000. But longer term, I'm talking about like for the next month, maybe like this might happen. All the way down to 53.3K is possible. Why am I telling you this? Because then if you flip to the Ethereum chart, which we're going to go to right now, whoops, Ethereum chart from year-to-date data, right? What's the problem here? The problem is we just hit the resistance. It's the same Bitcoin problem. We hit the resistance zone on the price. Now the big support zone is down here as well. Multiple touch points is the name of the game. Here, this one also here, but then at the upper 4,000s. And then down here at like 1700s, boom. You see this in the blue, resistance on the top, support on the bottom. And then you could also use a parallel channel at minimum 2 touch points each. Boom, you get your middle half line. I call it the heart line. Just out of habit, but half line. And this thing right here after the September 7th crash, the price just fell down straight to there. That's how I knew we might reverse here on Ethereum. That's why I do not like to do 1% scalping, because on a 1 minute chart, you're not going to be able to understand this. It's coming, right? So we had a daily downtrend into uptrend reversal, and now we had a little bit of shooting star on a doji candle. If you know your Japanese candlesticks, it was a little bit bearish candles, but we have an intermediate trend line holding this support up for now. So still in the daily uptrend, it's no problem. We might actually bounce here, retest this, right? There's so many potential scenarios that happen, but the fact is we just have to stay above 3879 and we're fine. This little blue circle, you have to hold this support trend line like this on the intraday, 15 minute, 1 hour, 4 hour. If we lose it, we break down, retest, then we have a problem. For now, at this moment in time, there's not much of a problem, but the fact that we rejected here is giving me yellow flag, yellow light warning sign. We need a little bit of a momentum reset, and we did get that on the 15 minute on the H1. The 15 minute did bounce. So just like I was saying here, we hit our relative low on that trend line. I'm zoomed way in now like this and bounced up to here. What I'm saying is probably way too advanced for people, but the too long didn't read is, if you look at it from this perspective, the day chart, like an investor, which most people starting out probably should look at it like this, 2021 is you're playing 3 long-term levels. You're playing $4,100, $3,000, and $2,000. 4,000, 3,000, 2,000. If you're an investor, this is all I need for Ethereum. And then it's just a matter of 2 scenarios. Bullish scenario, if we're going to go up, we need to break up above right here, the ceiling, smash through the ceiling, pull back down to test it, and continue up like textbook uptrend. That's the bullish scenario. If that does not happen this year or next year, especially this year, it kind of has to happen this year. We are pulling back down in a bearish scenario all the way down here. If it's really bad in crypto, man, we could pull back down 50% down, back all the way back down to the bottom of here, which would be terrible for the market cap. The market cap will go down negative 50%. So that's why I have this super bearish scenario in the back of my mind. I'm mentally prepared for that. 6 months from now, 9 months from now, if this is the top of Bitcoin, we pull back, I'm going to long Ethereum right here. I might long Ethereum at 3,000, 2,000, maybe 3,500. Okay, but it's, it has to be really bad for that to happen. So that's just a bad case scenario. But More likely it's going to stop somewhere above like 3,600, 38, 3,900 because it's crypto. It only crashes like this when you have big, bad fundamental news. This was Dogecoin hype is dead, and in the USA and globally, and then we had China miner ban, and we also had China miner ban, China trading ban here, but that was also priced in way back here. So the market didn't crash. Support holds. Federal Reserve says Bitcoin's legal. Boom, everyone's hyped on crypto again to the resistance target. This was always our target here, halfway in here. So now the flip side is true. If we reverse and stop here, my targets are back down. I'm looking down again if it's going to happen. Only two scenarios really long term: breakout or pullback. Watch for the intraday. Watch for this little baby trend line to hold or not. Intraday, if you're a day trader, just watch momentum. Are we angling up in the trend line, or are we angling down? Right now we're angling up. If this happens on a 1 hour, then we're in trouble. Like if this happens, these two, if it repeats here, we're in trouble on Ethereum. Longs are in trouble. Shorts are going to rejoice, finally. But, I'll immediately watch $3,900. So hopefully that makes sense. I know I talked way too much about this chart, but I'm giving a lot of scenarios. I'm giving long-term, medium-term, short-term for our investors, swing traders, day traders, new people, advanced people, professionals, all of that. I'm probably going to make a course someday, probably next, if I have time, it'll probably come out next year, or like a book or something, or like a class or something. But right now, because I'm a full-time trader and in stocks and crypto, I'm doing that. But I am streaming live on TradingView, YouTube, Twitch. I have a free Discord group if you want to join that. I do a basic free weekly watches for S&P 500 Bitcoin and my levels on that. And so if you want to join that, it's completely free for now. On any of these platforms, I stream once a week right now, especially because stock earnings is going crazy in the market. We have tech earnings next week. So if you're doing stock market and Bitcoin trading, please be aware of volatility, market moves in any direction in the next 3 weeks, especially this week. And I went over time, but this usually happens because we had a pretty good session today. So thanks so much for watching, following, and joining, everybody. I hope you have a nice weekend. Always remember, no FOMO in the markets. And I hope you have a good one. See you next time.